One of the real surprises in the 2010 election was the victory of businessman Ron Johnson, someone who had never held nor sought elective office before as United States Senator from Wisconsin. And he's here with us tonight at the Republican National Convention. Welcome, Senator.
Thank you.
All right, tell us, is your state going to go Republican this time? A reporter from The Nation says no in the end. What sayest thou?
I'm very optimistic. Let's face it, we turned a blue state pretty red in November 2010. The national issues in that race, from my standpoint, were the repeal of the health care law, a very unpopular, very partisan bill,
right,
as well as getting our debt and deficit under control. Now, what's changed? Other than Governor Walker, actually got into office, governed as he campaigned, fixed the problem, was supported by the Wisconsin voters on June 5th, survived the recall, and now we're moving into the November 2012 election. The health care law is closer to implementation. It's more unpopular than it was 2 years ago, and our debt has gotten $2.5 trillion larger. Mm-hmm. So I think we're dealing with the same issues. I try and explain to people that even though Wisconsin has elected very liberal senators in the past, we're a fiscally conservative state. I mean, the people in Wisconsin actually have this very strange notion, I guess, that government ought to live within its means. So they have been sitting back appalled at what this president has done in terms of piling another $5.3 trillion of debt onto the backs of our children and grandchildren. So, no, I'm pretty optimistic that Governor Romney, now with his vice president selection, Paul Ryan, I think we're going to take those 10 electoral votes and turn those over to the next president, Mitt Romney.
What's Congress going to do when it comes back for its last session in Washington before the election?
Well, what we should do is return some certainty to our economy. So really fiscal conservatives were behind the effort to, because Senator Harry Reid has not passed appropriation bills, we have no way to fund the government after September 30th. We didn't want to see a continuing resolution end in the lame duck, which would have created a bill that had to pass, and then you would have loaded all kinds of very bad things onto that bill. So we went on the offensive and said, no, let's pass a continuing resolution. As bad as that is in terms of governing, let's pass that for 6 months to get us well into the next administration, allow responsible leadership to be elected and start addressing the problem. So we pass a continuing resolution, take a shutdown, showdown off the table, and then what we should do is we should extend all the current tax rates. The fact that Senator Patty Murray from Washington is willing to drive the nation's economy off the fiscal cliff is really astonishing, quite honestly. Incredibly irresponsible. So we need to do that. Let's just stabilize the situation. Let's return certainty. Let's give new leadership. Hopefully, President Mitt Romney, hopefully a majority of Republicans in the Senate who will pass a budget, by the way. Let's give them 3-4 months to get in and actually start getting our debt and deficit under control.